10-minute slots. We have the different time slots in between our keynotes and in between our panels. And they have given little 10-minute Q&A or presentations. You go into their room. If you're like, hey, who is this? This is interesting. Click on that. You can usually do a one-click registration. Luma's really good at reminding you. So you will get tons of reminders. That's Luma, that's not me, just so you know. Anyway, but you will be allowed to jump into their room and listen to them and talk to them. They will be there. If they have an event up there, they will be in their room. Now, keep in mind, this is a global event. We have people from around the globe, so it is a 12-hour event. Not every person is going to be in their room all day. So if you want to make sure you catch a specific person, that agenda calendar is your best bet. We also have the map. We have all just running around here. And don't forget, we do have amazing, very, very expert speakers today. We have 3 keynotes, we have 4 panels, and we have a spotlight on the Global Business Plaza members. So we have lots and lots going on. So keep an eye on that calendar. And if you get lost down a rabbit hole, when you go into someone's room on the top left corner, they are supposed to have a Return to Expo button. But I'm going to tell you a secret, and I don't want you to tell anyone else. All of our exhibitors are humans, and every once in a while they make mistakes. So if they don't have a Return to Expo button in their room, you can just bookmark this on your browser or write it down. It's gobrunch.com/worldbuilding, and it will bring you right back here. And we have stuff going on all day. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to stay in here as much as you can. And I think that's it. I don't think I have forgotten anything. I think that I have said all the words. So we are ready for our first keynote speaker. And I'm going to let you come on up here. And I want everyone to know that this expo, the theme of this expo is innovate, build, and connect. I forgot to tell you, there is a welcome video up there from me. So when I'm not talking, when no one's talking in this room, you can go listen to that welcome video as well. Innovate, build, and connect. And when I tell you, Dr. CK is quite the innovator. She's going to, if you scroll all the way, way up to your top, she's going to be sharing her screen. Yep, there she is. And as soon as I get my recorder going, because I want to make sure I record all of her brilliance, then I am going to hand it over to you. Dr. CK, you are up. Go for it.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you might be, right? Hello to everyone. Let me see you in the chat. Say hello back, because here in the South, in North Carolina, it's considered rude if you don't say hello back. So we speak to total random strangers all the time, and we expect them to say hello, good afternoon, good morning. There we go. It's good to see all of you. Hello, hi. Hello from the UK. Awesome. Yes, and you do speak to everyone, right, Vanessa? Yes. Guten Morgen. I'm glad I said that correctly. First off, can we just give it up for Peggy and the Go Brunch team? Y'all, they are absolutely amazing. You can do some clapping emojis over in the chat. Let's give it up for them, because it is not easy doing this. Hello from New England. I love to see it. Salam. All right. RJ, yes, give up the love. It is an honor to be here with you all and to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart. And we are talking about innovation, but specifically, we're looking at what happens when history comes in contact with innovation. And just a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Charity Campbell Capella, but over the past maybe 7 years of teaching in from representatives from 20 to 25 different countries and cultures, it was kind of a mouthful for them to say Dr. Charity Campbell Capella. So when I was living in China and teaching at university, my university students started calling me Dr. CK. And then it just stuck. So for those of you who have known me in the Go Brunch world for a while, but you had no idea why my name was Dr. CK, now you know, because my full name is a mouthful for quite a few people to say, especially when English is not your first language. And so Dr. CK became my name. And I am a cultural intelligence consultant. I used to teach at university. This is my first semester not teaching. And I have had the honor over the past 2 decades of serving as an English language specialist. And specifically this year, I've been serving as an English language specialist with the U.S. Department of State's prestigious program, English language programs. And so in collaboration with a project that was developed by the US Embassy in Iraq, I had a unique opportunity to lead a groundbreaking initiative that took all the things that I loved and combined it with what I love to do, which is help these brilliant professionals who in their native language, they're superstars. They're powerhouses. You know, they are the archaeologists. They're the contractors. They're the management executives. They are the CEOs, and they're the go-to person in their native language. But when they begin to speak and communicate across cultures, instead of them shining like they naturally do, they begin to shrink. They don't feel as confident as they do when they're speaking and communicating in their native language because they're afraid of cultural missteps, or they're afraid of saying the wrong thing, or they're afraid of, you know, people laughing at them because maybe their grammar wasn't perfect. So here with this program, I was able to work with brilliant archaeologists, historians, and tourism professionals in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. And I found it very interesting that this opportunity fell into my lap almost instantly, because I have a background in tourism and hospitality, but not traditionally from studying. It's from traveling to 31 countries and for living in 5 countries and teaching abroad and studying abroad, and also here domestically in the United States, working with immigrants and refugees. It was like, okay, this is destiny. Wow, what do you need me to do? And the only thing that they asked me to do was to help these archaeologists, historians, and tourism professionals in Iraq to improve their storytelling skills. Now, my background is in communication studies, new media journalism, and global leadership. And so I was like, let's do it. How do you want them to talk? And it was a challenge for them at first, because here they were super excited to get started, but also extremely anxious, nervous that they might be judged for saying the wrong thing. And so in my classrooms all around the world, I've always said, if you don't make a mistake with me, then you're not going to learn. I have one rule. You must make mistakes. And everyone always looks at me when I first tell them that, they always look at me and they're like, why? I don't want to. Because if you can make a mistake with me in private and you trust me to help you to get it right, to say the right thing, or to tweak what you're saying a little bit just to make it right, then you'll remember that when you go out in the public. And someone in the public, they might not be as culturally intelligent or sensitive as I am. They may actually laugh at you. They may something that make you feel, inferior, when clearly you are not. So make all the mistakes that you want with me so that I can help you improve and get better. My number one rule. So we started making mistakes. We started saying all the wrong things, telling the story and having the bad grammar. And then I realized that they started improving their confidence. Confidence directly impacts communication. So as they started building their confidence, I'm like, okay, now I know this program was created so that you all could improve your tourism efforts. So what is happening right now, in case any of you may or may not know, what is happening right now in the Kurdistan region of Iraq is that they are really increasing their tourism efforts. They have Herbal Citadel, they have museums, and it's like it's becoming like this booming tourist economy. So as I was preparing for this program, I was like, okay, what can we do? Because this is a totally virtual program. How can I help them get that real world experience of interacting with international visitors while they're at home? And so that is when I had to think about Go Brunch. Go Brunch literally was the only software and tool that I would build this on. I was using another software and tool last year before I discovered Go Brunch, and I thought it was amazing. In fact, the Vietnamese professionals that I was teaching last year, I hosted their final assessment on using that software. And I was so upset that I found Go Brunch a week later. I was like, I could have built something amazing for them had I known about Go Brunch. But it's okay. I redeemed the time because here I built a virtual museum. I didn't just want something that, was like, static. You come in, you see all the pictures, and then you just leave out. No, I wanted something that could be innovative and interactive, and that would it would just boost their morale. And so I'm going to show you before you even visit us today. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at how I developed and from, I guess we would call it the ground up. Okay, so here's your sneak peek at truly something amazing. These rooms that I'm about to show you, and it's not all of them because for some insane reason, I decided to build about 18 rooms in this virtual museum. I lost my mind. Okay. Why 18 rooms? I don't know. But I was so passionate about creating something that could be a touch point for every area that they might actually engage with in real life. So these rooms were carefully created with these beautiful archaeologists, historians, and tourism specials in mind. In order for me to do this right, I really had to look at history, the historical artifacts, the history that was true to their culture. Because one thing, if you are culturally aware, if you're culturally intelligent, if you're culturally sensitive, you do not want to disrespect anyone's culture. You do not want to disrespect their beliefs, their values. You don't want to disrespect the thing that they identify with most. And so, in order for me to do this with integrity, I had to go and do a bit of research. I had to look at the region's tourism efforts. I had to look at the Herbal Citadel. I had to look at the historical museums that they have now that they are literally attracting people to. So I took to the internet. Where else was I going to go? I couldn't physically go there, right? Not at this time, because I'm a new mom dealing with a toddler, and so grabbing my baby and going over to Iraq just wasn't something that I could really really do right now, especially with my husband being in Zambia. I just really could not do that. So I took to the internet and I said, let me look at what exists. And then let me see how I can replicate it as close as possible. So here's the first thing you're looking at: textiles. Iraq is known for their textiles, especially in the Kurdistan region. Beautiful textiles, beautiful hand woven carpets, table runners. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous to see the talent. And so I had to take to AI. I said, all right, listen, this is what I want. My prompting became top tier. Listen, I learned how to be a top tier prompter. You hear me? Because I had to give it as much detail as possible, saying, this is what I'm looking at. This is the type of thread that, I mean, going into detail, the thread, what it looks like, the types of colors. I need you to help me to generate something that would look similar. And so here on this side, I don't know which side you're looking at from me, but on my left, hopefully, yeah, your left, we're on the same side, left and right. Okay, here's the left, here's the right. Here is the actual photo of the Kurdish Textiles and Cultural Museum inside. Okay, here's one of the museums that they have. And so I said, okay, how can I go in and build something like that? You see, it has multiple levels. I see that there's displays on the wall. There are also, not in this image, but in another, there are some in display cases. How can I do this? And so it took a lot of patience. When you are working with technology, dear beautiful people, it will try your patience. When you are trying to innovate, it will try your patience. So you have to be patient, especially if you want to do something with excellence, if you want to do something with integrity. And so as I started building out, I said, okay, I got the textiles. Now, what is the next thing that is probably one of the most prominent artifacts that are produced or are discovered during excavation? So excavation, which you will see, and some of the archaeologists will be with us today. You will see they discover pottery. They have discovered these are handmade, right? Ceramics, glass from ancient times. And so I said, all right, how can I, because we're in 2025, right? How can I take something so beautiful and generate something that would be close to it, something similar, and then be able to put it in a display case? And so what's on the right-hand side is AI generated. And I started looking. Now, all of these that I've shown you, I have consulted with them first. They were a part of my creation process. So I consulted with them and I was like, how does this look? How would you describe this artifact? How would you talk about the texture here? What would you say? Imagine, because they're improving their storytelling skills, right? So imagine if you were at an excavation site and you discovered this beautiful ancient pottery. What would you tell someone who is not aware of your culture? How would you describe this? Who created it? What's the story behind it? Was it an artifact that was in, that was a part of a royal family, or was it more from a common family? What's the story behind this? And as they started looking at what I was creating, not only did their confidence rise in the stories that they were able to communicate, but also they felt like, here is a virtual space that I really feel like I kind of belong. So I had to go a little deeper. On the left, you have these are in the Herbal Citadel. There's a museum, excuse me, over in the Kurdistan region. Most of them, you'll see these beautiful statues. I said, all right, how can I Dr. CK this thing? How can I take it and add a bit of innovation to it to make this story come alive? And so you see on the right-hand side, we got some storytellers, you know. Listen, you're talking about taking history, taking innovation, and marrying them together to create something absolutely beautiful, something that transcends language barriers. When you go into this museum, it's almost as if, and I'm not saying this because I created it, but when you go into this museum, it's almost, you're just like, as if you walk into an actual museum, you're just like, wow, look at all the shiny things. Like, look at all of this stuff. And I was able to create this for a greater purpose that you all are being able to benefit and witness today. Now, something that I am extremely proud of is this. This is a seat. You know how we have our little circles? You all are sitting in circles right now. When you go into the museum, several spaces, every single seat is something different. Every single seat is something different. But I wanted it to be culturally present. And so Go Brunch is known for the circle seats. We don't sit in squares. We don't sit in triangles. We sit in circles. And so I had to look up what is an artifact that already exists in the culture that has a circular frame, something that I could also create. And then I found the most beautiful, do you see it? The most beautiful ceramic plate that has Arabic inscriptions. Now, the thing that I am probably really impressed with, almost most, about these archaeologists and tourism professionals is that English is their third language. Third. They speak Kurdish Sorani. They speak Arabic, and then English. And there are probably a few others that they speak as well, but then English. They are multilingual. And here, taking this and then saying, okay, getting my prompt together. I mean, you can't put a prompt that's like 2 lines here. My prompts are like paragraphs because I have to tell the story to make sure that the culture is infused with the innovation. And so here we go. I'm like, give me something that tells this story that looks like this, and I'm writing it out. And when I get this beautiful circular seat with a top-down view, I'm just screaming. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm about to have the best seats ever. This seat is fire. And I'm putting it in the museum. And I start putting these in the museums. I didn't show you all of them because I really want you to be surprised when you go in. I took seats that look like the textiles, the beautiful rugs that are hanging on the walls, and I put them in circles. And you're sitting and you see fringes all around. Why? Because it's innovation. I want them to see how their culture still matters from way back then, the historical relevance, meeting the technological advancement, and the type of impact that could have on them as they are improving their storytelling skills. So absolutely went crazy. So here's what we built out. This isn't all the rooms, okay? This is not all the rooms, but here's what we built out. And because one of the primary challenges that we ran into was, this is new. That was the biggest objection that I've heard. This is new. I'm scared. I don't know if I can do it. You don't know if you can do what? What are you talking about? You don't know if you can log into a virtual space and just chat? That's what we do on Zoom. It's boring. Here you are in an atmosphere that prompts you to talk about your culture. So what do you mean you don't think you can do it? I'm just nervous. Okay. Saying to me in perfect English that you are afraid. Saying to me in perfect English that you don't think you can do it when I truly believe that you can. What would you tell me about this fact card? So I provided the rooms that I built out. I downloaded all the images and I went into Canva and I just started writing fact cards. Here's where you will find a fact card. Here's where you'll find another. Because the fact cards are so important. When we go into a museum, there's a little label or fact sheet right beside it that tells you about the artifact. So I created that for them. I gave it to them so that they could feel at ease and then look at something and say, oh, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. It comes from this beautiful old lady, who hand wove this. Whatever they came up with, it was from their experiences, from their cultural stories that they've heard down the line. And it was also from what was produced. So as they went through, they started being a bit more, you see the fact cards there. You'll see them in the rooms as well. If you just hover in different places, you'll see them. And I told them, I said, listen, this was built for you. After we had a successful assessment, their assessment, you will see them today, is on speaking skills and listening comprehension. It's not grammar. It's not for them to be perfect. It's just to build their confidence so that they can see what they can do virtually, they can do in real life. So the goal was to help them to be as confident in English as they are in their native and second languages. And not only did being in this type of environment, this museum, boost their confidence, but it gave them hope. Because now they were able to tell a story. They were able to interact with people from around the world that normally they would not have an interaction with. And they were able to share their story, their culture in their own words. And so I'm super excited because you will have an opportunity to join us today because they will be with us. Not all of them, but some of them will. They'll be with us. And so I invite you to visit us at booth 115. It is the Kurdistan Virtual Heritage Museum. And also make sure you participate in the quest, the Expo quest, for a chance to win that $50 US. Listen, if you are outside of the US, $50 is a lot. Okay. Well, maybe depending on where you are, but $50 can do a lot. And if you are in the US, $50 could probably take care of your lunch or your dinner or get you some gas. So make sure you participate. Come and see us. We have a few archaeologists and historians and some tour guides who will be with us at the different times throughout the day. So just come, say hi, make them feel loved, help boost their confidence. And thank you so much for your time.
Dr. CK, thank you so much. Come turn your camera on in your circle. We have just a couple of minutes. Does anybody in the comments want to ask a quick question? Does anybody have any questions? What a great way to merge history and innovation. The one thing you didn't say is that this landed you a really big contract.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it did. It landed me a huge contract. That was the opportunity. Once they came into the museum, and these were the government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq, and they came in and they saw the museum and they were like, "You built this? you did this?" And I'm like, "Sure, it only took me 2 months, but yes, yes, it did." And they were like, We have another program that is interested in working with you. Would you be able to? Their English is not as strong as these, but they're more archaeologists and more historians. Would you be willing to work with them? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? Not to mention the contract was twice as long and a lot more. But it's, at that point, it wasn't about the money. It was the result. Y'all, I lost sleep building this museum. I lost sleep, but the final result, and then when I shared it amongst my colleagues in Go Brunch, they were the ones that they made me so emotional because they were just like, oh my gosh, you built this? Like raving about it. And here I am thinking like, oh, okay, it's cute, it's nice. And then they're piecing things together. Claudio is bringing in his feedback, and Claudio and I, let me just tell you, he's the other keynote, one of the others. Claudio has this thing where he loves to act like he doesn't love me. He likes to challenge me. Okay. Claudio has this thing where he's like this tough exterior. He's like, it's okay. But deep down on the inside, Claudio loves me so much. You can tell, like, he loves it. And he was proud of the work that I did. And then you have people like Dr. Hermie and Jamie. And I mean, literally, of course, Peggy, Dr. Karen Moore came in. Like, we had not crossed paths like that before. I was, oogling over what she created. And then she came into the museum and was just like, girl, like this, what you are doing. And then Jamie comes and, he's just telling everybody about the museum. I didn't need to promote it because Jamie was the best word of mouth ever. You hear me? Like, this is the people who you get to grow with, you get to build with, and you get to change people's lives with. And so I'm just very honored to be here.
Well, we are honored to have you here. And this expo is about innovation, and it's about opportunity, and it's about making money with our businesses in an innovative way. And you sum all of that up for sure. And we are so, so grateful for this. This is just, it's amazing. And I love what you do. And everybody definitely pop in. Now we have 1 hour of expo exhibiting and finding stuff. So you've got an hour to go up and go to the events that are on the agenda calendar, pop in, start playing the game, go to the booth 100 and get the game forms and just go hang out and play. And then when you come back in 1 hour, I'm making sure I'm not lying. It is at, the panel is at 9 a.m. Yes, in 1 hour, come back here and we are going to have a panel discussion, and Dr. CK will be on the panel. RJ Redden will be on the panel. RJ, unmute and tell me who else is going to be on the panel.
I believe that Hermie character will be joining us, if I'm not.
I believe he will. I think, am I on this panel? I might be on this panel.
I think you are, but.
And this panel is talking about creating innovative worlds on Go Brunch. And
you
how
are on the panel, Peggy.
So you are not, and Aisla, thank you. Aisla will be moderating this panel. So you are not going to want to miss it. So go explore and come back in 1 hour and hear more from us about building amazing Go Brunch rooms. And as the day goes, we will just keep getting better. So a lot of the exhibitors have their booth numbers by their name. So, Dr. CK is in booth 115. Check out the agenda, and I will see you guys back in an hour or in my booth in 101.